this session, I'm going to sum up the second chapter, that is a capital structure. So far we discussed the theories of capital structure. We have worked out 6 marks problems on capital structure. We have worked out problems on capital structure which appear for the examination for 12 marks. We have also worked out 24 marks problems on capital structure. And today in this session I am going to brief out key aspects of capital structure chapter, and thereby I am concluding this chapter. And from next session, or if possible in this session only, so we'll be starting the new chapter, that is third chapter, basic concepts of financial management. Now let us have a glance over the few concepts of capital structure once again. So in this chapter we discussed about the debt equity ratio. Now here debt equity ratio, it is nothing but the ratio of debt and equity. Now here the debt equity ratio is the key ratio for any investor. So when the debt equity ratio is higher, so it replicates that there is a high debt to equity, and a smart investor will select those companies which have a low debt equity ratio. Of course, by considering only debt equity ratio we cannot make an investment decision, but still a debt equity, by looking at debt equity ratio we can determine the financial strength of the company. Okay, now here debt equity, in debt equity ratio we consider only long term debt and equity. Now here equity includes the shareholders fund, so that means it includes equity shareholders plus preference shares plus reserves and surplus, or any other amount of profit which is available to equity holders, or any other amount of profit so now here equities includes equity shares, preference shares and reserves and surplus, or any other amount of profit on which equity holders they are having right. Okay, now here any miscellaneous expenditures, if they are in existence, so they must be deducted from the total equities, and after deduction we will be getting net worth. Now here equity fund, preference fund, reserves and surplus minus the miscellaneous expenditures. So this is about the equity. And next we also discussed about leverages. Now here leverages means the presence of fixed cost source of finance in two stages, that is in operations and in financial structure. Now here in the case of operating leverage, so when there is a presence of fixed source of finance or fixed cost, so like that also we can consider, when there is a presence of fixed cost in operations, that will boost or pushes the operating profit. Okay, operating profit will be higher when there is a fixed cost in the operations, and any increasing sales will result in increase in operating profit. Any increase in sales will result in increase in operating profit. So this concept you must keep it in mind. And similarly financial leverage is nothing but, so here when there is a presence in or presence of fixed cost source of finance, that will boost the EPS, okay, earning per share. So here financial leverage is nothing but the presence of fixed cost source of finance in the financial structure of the company, and the presence of fixed cost will automatically boost the earning per share. Any increase in sale will result in increase in earning per share when there is a presence of fixed cost in the financial structure of the company. Similarly, in the case of operating leverage, when there is a presence of fixed cost in the operations, any increase in sales will result in increase in operating profit. So these two things you must keep it in mind. Similarly, in the case of combined leverage, so combined leverage, it's a product of fixed operating leverage and financial leverage. Now here you must keep it in mind that high risk is equal to high leverage. When there is a higher leverage, so there will be high risk. So when there is a lower leverage, there will be low risk. Now here precisely telling, see precise ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಬ್ಬರು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವ. ಒಬ್ಬನ ಹೆಸರು ಸಾರ್ಥಕ್ ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವ, ಒಂದು ಜನರಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ಈಗ ಸಾರ್ಥಕ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಚಿಕ್ಕಮಂಗ್ಳೂರಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಉಡುಪಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ನವರು ಶಿರ್ವದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಸಾರ್ಥಕ್ಕಿಗೆ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಉಂಟು. ಸಾರ್ಥಕ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವರ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ 10 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನೀನು ಉಡುಪಿಗೆ ಬಾ ಮಾರೆ, ನಾನು ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ಹತ್ರ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ 10 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಡುಪಿಗೆ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಯಾರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಡ್ರೈವಿಂಗ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ 10 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಸೊ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಟಾಪ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರನ್ನು ಓಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ನಿಯರ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ 20 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕಾರ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಗೇರ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ ಗೇರನ್ನು ಅವರು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಗೇರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಗಾಡಿಯನ್ನು ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವು ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಟು ರೀಚ್ ಉಡುಪಿ ಇನ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಗೇರ್ in 10 minutes? Definitely it is not possible, because if he want to reach Udupi at a maximum speed and within 10 minutes he must shift gear from first gear to he has to put to top gear. So first gear in the second gear in the third gear in the fourth gear in the fifth gear ಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೊ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಟಾಪ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ರೀಚ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಉಡುಪಿಯನ್ನು 10 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಗೇರನ್ನು ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡದೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಗೇರಲ್ಲೇ ಉಡುಪಿಯನ್ನು 10 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವರ್ಕ್, ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೇರ್ ಲಿವರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಕಾರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಬಸ್ಸಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೇರ್ ಲಿವರ್ ಇರೋದು ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಸೊ ಸೇಮ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಅದು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದೋ ಅದೇ ವರ್ಕ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲಿವರೇಜಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಗೇರಿಂಗ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾವುದು, ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್. ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೋ ಅದು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಪುಷ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ವೆನ್ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ operations. Okay, and here any increase in sales will result in increase in profit. So there is correlation. Similarly, ಈ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಡೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಈಕ್ವಿಟಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಯಾವಾಗ ಈ ಡೆಪ್ಟ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ಡೆಪ್ಟ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ರೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾವಾಗ ಡೆಪ್ಟ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೋ ಇಟ್ ಪುಷಸ್ ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಪರ್ ಶೇರ್. ಸೊ ಎನಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಇನ್ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಪರ್ ಶೇರ್ ವೆನ್ there is existence of fixed cost in the financial structure. Okay, now next, combined leverage can be easily calculated. So it's a product already ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ. So if we multiply operating leverage with the financial leverage, we will get combined leverage. And remember, this combined leverage resembles or replicates the total risk of the company. Okay, when there is a high combined leverage, so that means the firm is in high risk. When there is a low combined leverage, so firm is in low risk. So this is about the leverages. And remember, you will get problems on leverages for 6 and 12 marks. Okay, and for debt equity you will get problem for 6 months. Okay, keep these points in mind. Then formula for operating leverage is contribution divided by EBIT. Now here contribution, and in contribution fixed cost and profit will include. If we deduct the fixed cost, we will be getting profit only. This profit is nothing but operating profit or EBIT. Okay. The next, the formula for financial leverage is EBIT or operating profit divided by EBT. Now here EBIT, so of course I have told you earlier while explaining operating leverage, EBIT can be derived by deducting fixed cost from the contribution. Okay. Now EBT can be calculated easily by deducting interest, okay, from the EBIT. Then combined leverage, it's a product of operating leverage and financial leverage, or in another way we can also calculate if the problem is silent about the operating leverage and financial leverage, or if the problem is silent about EBIT and all, but they have given with the contribution and EBT, easily we can calculate combined leverage by dividing EBT, that is earning before tax, from the contribution. Then EPS. So usually in order to calculate earning per share, so this part will appear for the 24 marks. Okay. So keep this in mind. 24 marks ige problem EPS ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. Now here EPS is nothing but earning per share. So in order to calculate EPS, we need to draw income statement, because EPS calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ surplus profit calculation ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So surplus profit ಹೇಗೆ calculate ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ? Through income statement only. Now sales minus variable cost ಇಂದ fixed cost ನಾವು ಡಿಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ನಾವು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಡಿಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಉಂಟು. ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಡಿಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಡಿಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಡಿಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆದ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಉಳಿತದೆ ಅದು ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಟು ಈಕ್ವಿಟಿ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್. ಆ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಈಕ್ವಿಟಿ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಪರ್ ಶೇರ್ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. Now I have provided income statement here. So with this we can understood clearly the computation of EPS. See here different levels of sales are given here, and so here variable cost for 1 lakh amount of sale is 20,000, for 2 lakh it is 30,000, and for 3 lakh it is 40,000, and fixed cost for 1 lakh amount is 50,000, and for 2 lakh 50,000, for 3 lakh also it is 50,000. Now we can observe EBIT. So for the first case 30,000, second case 1,20,000, and third case 2,10,000. When there is presence of fixed cost in the operations, okay, that ultimately leads to increase in operating profit. And remember, this fixed cost must not be too much and must not be too minimum. So it must be moderate. Okay, a moderate amount of fixed cost, presence of fixed cost will result in increase in operating profit. See here, any given or any increase in sales will result in increase in EBIT. Okay, so from EBIT, if we deduct interest, we will be getting EBT, and from EBT we need to deduct tax, and from tax, so we will be getting profit before dividend, and if there are any preference shares, we need to deduct the dividend part, and after deduction of dividend we will be getting surplus profit or profit available to shareholders, and from profit available to shareholders we have to divide number of equity shares, and after dividing the number of equity shares we will be getting EPS. So this is about the income statement. So I am just briefing out here. Now these are all the textbook problems which may appear for the university examination for 6 marks, and I think similar type of problem appeared for the university examination. Now let us consider one by one. So here these problems I have copied from textbook of Raghunandan sir. Okay. Now here the first problem is like this. A firm has an operating leverage of 3. If the sale increases by 30%, calculate the percentage of increase in operating profit. That means in this problem, the operating leverage they have already calculated and they have given, that is 3. So operating leverage 3 means here the operating profit or a contribution, whatever contribution is there in the firm, it is 3 times than that of EBIT, that is operating profit. Okay. This contribution is 3 times greater than operating profit. Now with this information we have to calculate the effect of EBIT when there is increase in sales by 30%. Okay. Now here when there is increase in sales by 30%, so there will be a magnified effect on EBIT. Okay. So in the previous explanation I have told you that when there is a presence of a fixed cost in the operations, so it will magnifies or it will increases the operating profit. So any changes in sales will result in increase in operating profit. Now here in this case we have to consider the percentage increase in sales and we have to consider the operating leverage, and both we have to multiply. So 30% of increase in sales into the operating leverage, that is 3. This will result in 90% increase in EBIT, that is operating profit. So similar type of problem or a similar explanation I have given in earlier sessions. Okay. And then we have another problem. The financial leverage of a company is 2.5. Now in this problem they have given a financial leverage. Now it is 2.5. Now here financial leverage of 2.5 means here the EBIT. So whatever EBIT in this case, the formula for computing financial leverage is EBIT divided by EBT. Okay. Now here whatever EBIT is given, so that is 2.5 times greater than the EBT. So here the leverage of a company, financial leverage of a company is 2.5 if the EBIT increases by 25%. So again, so already it is greater by 2.5 times of EBT. Once again, if it increases by 25%, what is the percentage of increase in EPS? Once again we have to multiply this 2.5 with the percentage of increase in sales. Now here percentage of increase in EBIT is or percentage of increase in EBIT is 25%, it is given. Okay, so this we have to multiply it with the financial leverage, that is 2.5. so we will be getting 62.5%. and we have another problem, so that is if a combined leverage is 5. Okay, now here in this case they have given total leverage or total risk they have given, that is combined leverage is 5. Calculate the percentage of increase in EPS when the sale increased by 12%. Now here too in this case we have to multiply percentage of increase in sales with the combined leverage. So percentage of increase in sales is 12% and the combined leverage is 5. 12 into 5 we will be getting 60%. Then we have another problem. A company has an operating leverage of 3 and a financial leverage of 2. With this information we have to calculate combined leverage, and furthermore if the sales goes up by 20%, so we have to calculate the percentage increase in EBIT and EPS. Now combined leverage we can easily calculate by multiplying operating leverage with the financial leverage. So 3 into 2 will get 6. So this is the combined leverage, and percentage increase in EBIT. So here this can be calculated with the help of a percentage increase in sales and operating leverage. Both information they have provided in the problem. So percentage increase in sales is 20% and operating leverage is 3. So the percentage increase in EBIT is equal to 20% into 3 will be getting 60%. That means when there is a 20% increase in sales and with the operating leverage of 3 results in 60% increase in operating profit. So here operating leverage 3 means it is nothing but the EBIT. So whatever EBIT is given and whatever contribution is given, so that we have to consider. Here operating leverage is 3 means the contribution, that is fixed cost plus profit, is 3 times greater than EBIT. Okay. Now next we have to calculate earning per share. Okay. Now here earning per share can be calculated easily by considering percentage increase in EBIT and financial leverage. In the problem it is specifically given the financial leverage. Now here financial leverage is 2 and percentage increase in EBIT it is not given, that we have to calculate, and we have already calculated. The percentage increase in EBIT is 60%. In the previous case we have calculated. So here 60% into 2 will be getting 120%. That means a 60% increase in EBIT with the operating leverage of 2 results in 120% increase in EPS, that is earning per share. And in another way also we can calculate EPS, that is earning per share can also be calculated in a alternative way also. So that is a percentage increase in EPS is equal to percentage increase in sales, okay, into combined leverage. Combined leverage we have already calculated, that is 6, and percentage increase in sales. So now we calculated here in the second situation, that is 120 percentage increase in sales, it is given in the problem. See, if sales go up by 20%, okay, so 20% into 6 will be getting 120%, and here both the answers are matching. So you can observe here in the second situation and in the third situation 120%, 120%. So both the answers are one and the same, but the calculations are different. So alternative ways are there. So kindly keep these things in mind. You can expect this kind of problems for 6 marks in the university examination.